restore a classic car. This is extraordinary.
This is what you dream about.
When you get to this stage, you have to be fanatical.
Look at this. How mad would I have to be to take on restoring an E-Type?
You need a straitjacket.
And it is the E-Type.
Thank you very much. But which E-Type? Because there are lots of them. Welcome to A Car Is Reborn. Yes, I'm going to restore an E-Type Jaguar. But I have no idea which one I'm going to work on. So I've come here to the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust, because they know a thing or two about Jaguars. I'll tell you what, it's very easy to get sidetracked in this place. It is full of some of the most fantastic cars in the world. This is an XK180 concept car, one of only 2 ever built. And it does have a few features that I recognise from E-Types down here, like the grills. In it with me is Nigel Thorley. Now, Nigel, so let's go right back from the beginning. Obviously, my mission here today is to try and decide which E-Type Jaguar I'm going to restore. Take me back through the history of what is available to start with.
Right. When it came out, released at the Geneva Motor Show in March of 1961, the Series 1 as we now call it, a 3.8 litre engine. It was so far advanced, it was way ahead of its time. There was, if you look at what was on the market at the time of their sports cars, from one extreme you've got the likes of MGAs with still using a wooden floorboards and a basic 4-cylinder single cam engine. And you got other extremes like the Ferrari 250 GT, which was 3 times the price, and the E-Type could outperform it. So it was so way ahead of its time then. So to many, the Series 1 in the 3.8 litre engine form is the epitome of the real E-Type.
What modifications did they make to that to then create the next in line?
Right, well, 1964, they upgraded the E-Type quite substantially by putting a 4.2 litre engine in it. Same engine, just increased the configuration of capacity, which gave much better mid-range torque. Then they put a better gearbox in, which has got also Gramash on the 4 forward speeds, improved steering and much improved brakes. And really the Series 1 in the 4.2 litre form from 64 on is about the best E-Type to buy, because you've still got the lovely curvaceous looks of the original E-Type unspoilt by later modifications.
And in terms of kind of moving on from when it was first launched, it has now become probably the best loved sports car worldwide ever. Why do you think it's become so popular?
I think it's because it typifies the idyllic sports car, what everybody considers as a real sporting car. It's got power and performance, it looks fantastic, it has an image with it that's gone through the years. Even today, despite the fact it's been out of production since 1974, you can talk to a 6-year-old kid and know what an E-Type is. You can talk to a 90-year-old gentleman and know what an E-Type is. It's got that wondrous situation that very few cars have ever had, and I don't think ever will have. It's going to be a big, an uphill task for Jaguar to ever beat the E-Type. It really is.
Extraordinary. Obviously, my problem is to decide out of all these different series which one would be the best for me. Now, what I'm looking for is one of the kind of original cars, because I don't want the compromise car, but I also want a car that I can use on the road and enjoy driving, and not kind of drive 10 miles down the road and go, my God, that's a bit uncomfortable. What would you recommend?
For me, it would have to be a Series 1 4.2, 2-seater roadster, 4.2 engine, better performance, decent gearbox, decent seats. Yet you've still got that original look of the 1961 car.
Sold to the man in the driving seat. Big treat, I've managed to find Tom Jones. No, not the singer. The man who designed the chassis of the E-Type. Tom, you were chief chassis designer?
Yes.
At the time the E-Type was created?
Right.
That must have been an amazing job in that office.
Well, it was. It was supposed to be the follow-on of the D-Type. That's what it's called, the E-Type. as a competition car in 1956. And we made a prototype, but never raced it.
Why do you think it's become such a loved car all over the world?
Well, I don't know. It's a sex symbol, really. You should certainly pull the women. And,
At 28 years old, this man had the best job in the world. You were, sir,
Chief Test Engineer for Jaguar cars.
Chief Test Engineer for Jaguar cars when the E-Type was developed. Norman Jewis, it is a pleasure to meet you, mate.
Thank you.
You joined the company when? In
1952.
Okay, what were you doing then?
Well, I'd left Lee Francis. I did the same job there. I was Chief Test Engineer at Lee Francis. And they offered me a job here at Jaguar Cars, doing the same type of work. But they were more into competition than Lee Francis, and so I thought this was the best place to come.
Did you have a feeling, though, right in those early days, that this was going to be a fantastic sports car?
Yeah, we'd already been well up to the fore on good sports cars. I mean, like the C-Type, the D-Type. I mean, these were world beaters. I mean, we've been to Le Mans, revolutionised sports cars, the shape. And so to me, the E-Type was just another concept of sports car, which, okay, they want to produce it, sell it to the customer, never realising that it would have so much impact on the world market as it did, you know. Like when we took it to Geneva, I mean, it was wow, everybody just sort of couldn't believe it. Here's a 150 mile an hour car. And then you was looking at other cars, even sports cars, that were probably, they would do 110, 120, but here was 150, you know, at the price as well, under £2,000. How do you do it?
And what was it like? You got in it, it was a complete, you know, a development of these previous cars,
right.
but it was the first time you'd driven it. How did it handle?
Well, it's like all these things. You'd like them to handle well when you start, but there's lots to do from when you start. So you don't go out there and rush up to 100 mile an hour and lose the bloody lot and write it off, you see. We had what we call a steering pad, 108-foot steering pad. So you take it on there and you can get it to maximum handling G-force, front and rear. So you find